do one of yours.
Let's do one of mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's do
That's
one
what I
of
was thinking of.
Okay.
That one.
Let's do the Irish fiddle tune. This is called "In the Sally Gardens." Okay, it's a fiddle tune. I think it's appropriate. It's about the gardens. We're going back to the gardens, Joni Mitchell.
Oh.
Think about that. Okay, so I'll start this off. That was actually 2 songs. Sorry about that, Mark.
That's all right.
Good job. I played, the first song was "O Come Thou Font of Every Blessing," and then we played "In the Sally Garden." They're both in the key of D major. And so I want to give a little background. Let's go ahead and start. I grew up in Austin. I arrived here about 1970 with my parents. My dad was a professor at Angelo State University in San Angelo. I was born in DeKalb, Illinois. I grew up here and went to school, and I have never left, basically, except for that time I lived across from the Mormons in Salt Lake City and a few other places around the country. This Greenbelt is very special to me for a number of ways. Like, if I think about it now, in terms of looking back over 45 years, and how we're spending so much time in our cars, in our metal boxes, you know, moving our skin and flesh and bones around in the city. It's sad, you know, but the fact that it still exists, that there's this jewel of a greenbelt, which is 7.2 miles long. You guys, you live in Barton Hills, right? Is an amazing testament to the work that was done, right? With the Nature Conservancy, 1994, and all the work that was done in the 80s, which I was here for as a kid. Let's see, 91, where there was the big protest. Were you here for that, 91, right? Yeah, so I like to return here. The last time that I played here was Mother's Day 2017. So I was telling Mark and Mary that hadn't been here. And part of this series, Strings in the Woods, is to celebrate, sort of like I said, going back to the garden, taking music the way that it has existed for most of the time that music has existed on the face of the earth, which is without electricity. So part of the invitation for this journey is to leave the metal boxes that we travel around on and try to remember, get back in touch with nature that exists right in the middle of our city. It's right here and protected, and let our nervous systems quiet down and hear music, maybe as it would have occurred when the pioneers were traveling through here on the Chisholm Trail. Is one of the things that they did. You know, they stopped here along the way. Or when William Barton in 1837, right, had his homestead here. So, and some of my memories of being a kid are, one is every time I go to Barton Springs nowadays, I remember, this is about 1982, I would take a container like this and go down right next to the diving board, and we'd fill up, you know, water. That would be our water supply. We actually could drink the water right there from the source of the spring, 1980 or 82.
Wow.
What else? Other memories? Mark, do you have any
Sweet.
memories? You were talking about springs being around the city, not just Barton Springs.
Well, I had a band in the late 90s that we rented a rehearsal space downtown, San Jacinto and Fifth. And there was this building right next to ours that friends were trying to set up a little club out. There was only one door, they couldn't get it started. On the ceiling was a big, etched out, carved out sort of dome about this big around. Just what had happened is one of the springs that they capped to build downtown broke through the concrete and just shot at the ceiling and just etched out this thing. So apparently there were springs all over. You can imagine like the Capitol, and they built it, or even before that, just like all these little springs go flowing down to the river there. You know? And I worked for an architect on the east side who was digging. He bought an old train depot from Granger, Texas, and moved it to the east side. And as he was building his foundation, he hit a spring.
Where was that?
Spraying out. That kind of over by the French legation.
That
area.
Wow.
East,
I've heard there's a bunch of springs on the east side.
Yeah, and the city came out and capped it, and you know, I'd be drilling a little water fountain.
Right?
Capped it.
Whoa.
Right, 3 showers.
So part of the deal when we go along for Strings in the Woods is to find natural spaces where acoustic music can sound loud in a way. You know, so we try to find you know, cliffs or rocks or boulders that will project the sound. And so there's one that I found over here to the left. We did the show last year. Hopefully there won't be too much water there. But that's the mission of Strings in the Woods, find those spots. And we hope you come back. And by the way, this is just a fun thing to get to know each other. It's a way of creating community. So feel free to share stories, ask questions. If there's anything you want to hear, you can just speak up, and we'll walk along and just stop. It's like, hey, this is a good place. Let's play a little song here. And then we'll eventually have a 30-minute concert. So what time is it now?